Hello, good morning. Nice to meet you.
Good morning, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming today. Have
All
a seat.
right.
Let's begin the interview. First, can you please tell me about
My
yourself?
name is Gifira Kanza. You can call me Gifira. I'm 23 years old. I just graduated from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta with a degree in English language education. I'm an aspiring English teacher and also a passionate learner of all things social and language related. Currently, I'm doing some freelance as a writer and looking for a job that is more in line with my education background.
What do you write about, if I may ask?
I write about a variety of things. Sometimes I write articles about social issues, but sometimes I write about lighthearted stuff like music, movies, literature. Sometimes I also write personal essays about my personal journey. I also write some stuff in regard to language learning and teaching.
That's very interesting. Do you write as a hobby as well, or do you do other things in your
Sometimes
free
I
time?
write in my free time, but I also enjoy reading books, watching movies, and listening to music. I like to learn new things as well, so sometimes I watch lectures on YouTube about different topics. I also enjoy learning foreign languages.
That's very good to hear. We want our teachers to be active in their free time. Okay, I want to ask you this. What is one of your strengths as a teacher?
I'd say my biggest strength as a teacher is that I'm a creative teacher. I always strive to give my students the best learning experience, so I try to come up with fresh and fun activities and learning media. For example, we're learning about fruits and vegetables. As a creative teacher, rather than just delivering the materials straight from the textbook, I teach them a song about fruits and vegetables and how they look and how they taste like. I can also create an activity where we make a salad bowl together using fruits and vegetables.
We love creative teachers here. Creative teachers make students love learning, so it's very important for us to have creative teachers. All right, what about weaknesses? What is one of your weaknesses and how do you try to improve it?
One of my weaknesses is probably my perfectionism. I tend to be overcritical about what I do, so sometimes I spend too much time and energy on things that I should already be done with. What I do to try to improve it is to talk to other people, ask them to lend their eyes and expertise to basically help me assess my work. So once I hear from other people that my work is already good enough, that means I should stop criticizing my work and move on to the next task.
So you can say that you communicate your problems with other people a
Correct.
lot.
I think it's important to be able to ask questions and help from others and also receive the feedback they give you and apply it well. It's one way to build a healthy professional relationship and also to improve yourself in what you do.
I agree. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I've seen from your CV that you have internship experiences in teaching in high school. Can
Sure,
you tell me a
it
little bit
was
about that?
a compulsory internship program that was part of the curriculum in English language education in UMU. It lasted 2 semesters, and every 20 students were assigned to different high schools. I and some other students were assigned to do the internship in SMK Negeri Satu Kasihan, or more usually known by the name of SMKI. In the first semester, we were taught at the high school on how to make lesson plans and teaching materials and media. Because SMKI is a vocational high school specializing in some forms of traditional performance arts, the teachers cared a lot more about the lesson that we created being enjoyable for the SMKI students. So we were supervised directly by the teachers at the school, and it was a long back and forth process of asking for their feedback and revising the lesson plan according to that feedback, and also revising the teaching material and media and asking for feedback again and so on. And then we got to observe the teaching and learning activities in the classroom. After that, we had to write reports about everything we have learned from that one semester. The next semester is where we had our real teaching practice. I was assigned to teach Karawitan class for 4 weeks, one meeting per week, so 4 meetings in one semester. It was pretty hard to teach these students because they should have already been in the level where they understood a lot of English. The curriculum also demanded them to read and write certain types of texts in English. However, the students didn't have a good grasp of even basics of English. But I couldn't dumb down the lesson for them either because for 4 weeks I was their only English teacher. And so if I had changed the lesson plan, then they would have missed out on the stuff that they should actually be learning during the time with me. So I pushed for the lesson plan that I had already created in the previous semester, and I tried to teach in Indonesian more than in English to accommodate the students. I also revised some of the exercises that I had made so that it would be easier for the students to do. Later on, I also did some administrative work at the school as part of the program.
I see. So where do you want to work at SD Muhammadiyah Mujahideen? You have more experience in teaching in high school, a public school on top of that, so I choose to teach here in my elementary school students.
First, I think the school's visions and missions align with my personal ideals. I checked out the school's website and see that the school has a digital catalog for its library. When I saw that, I thought that the school must really care about the students and making your learning as fun and as effective as possible, which is why the school is so updated and well equipped in terms of technology and facilities. I also believe that there's more room to improvise in a private school like this than in a public school. So I like having that freedom a little bit more so that I can create lessons and activities that are more suitable for students and actually answer to their needs. So that's why I'm applying here. Why I want to teach elementary school students is that I think young learners, like elementary school students, are more receptive and curious. So naturally, they're very enthusiastic about learning things, about learning new things, like a new language. I believe we have to utilize that early enthusiasm, use that momentum well. Right now, they want to learn something new and fun, but if the teacher is boring or if the teacher doesn't really know English that well, they will grow up, the students will grow up not liking learning English or having all the wrong ideas about the English language. That's why I want to teach elementary school students. I want to be able to help students grow up loving learning English, and I think that's only possible when you start early with them. These kids are going to continue to grow up and compare their next learning to their previous learning experience. So I want to make their early experiences as good and as meaningful as possible, lay out a good base for them.
I see. So that said, what kind
I
of
use a
teaching
lot
methods
of
or media do you
audiovisual
usually
media
use?
because I think it's important for language learners in general to be able to see and hear the language they're learning. I sometimes use PowerPoint or Canva to make those audiovisual media. Sometimes I use videos from YouTube and TikTok too. I also use flashcards, pictures, and real life objects while teaching. For methods, I like to do a lot of singing and games in the classroom so students can use and speak the language themselves naturally without having to be forced to. I also use a lot of hands-on activities to make the learning process and what the students are learning more memorable.
All right, we want our teachers to know how to use a lot of tools and even make their own stuff. How much salary do you expect from this position?
Since I'm a fresh graduate with not a lot of experience, I'm more than satisfied with the standard salary.
All right, so say you got accepted for this position. Where do you see yourself in the
In the
next five
next
years?
5 years, hopefully, I would still be teaching here. I also dream of becoming a PNS teacher, so hopefully, I can work toward that goal while working here. I also have a dream of establishing some sort of website or application for learning English that is targeted toward Indonesian learners specifically, so that English learning becomes accessible for everyone. I also hope that website or application can be used by other teachers as a reference or for additional materials in your own teaching.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm afraid our time is up. I really enjoyed our
I did too.
conversation.
Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to do this job interview. It means a lot to me.
I'll let you know about our
I look
decision in
forward to
two to
it.
three
Goodbye.
weeks.